With me is Dr Alex Allison. We're talking Department for Enterprise. First of all, I've done the Chief Minister talking about sanctions. Yes. Anything more on that? I mean, obviously it's going to impact your side of things because it's
Absolutely.
all about people coming here, putting money into the Isle of Man, etc.
Well, it's more than that, Paul. The Department for Enterprise run the ship and aircraft registry, and obviously there's been a lot of attention on assets that are often belong to Russian individuals who may be linked with the Putin regime, that might be through shell companies in various areas. So one of our jobs as part of the international effort to support sanctions is to go through all our registries, make sure that anyone with those sort of links, those planes or ships, are deregistered, and that information is brought to the attention of the local authorities.
Is that costly to the Isle of Man to lose these?
Well, it is lost revenue, absolutely, but again, we are absolutely committed to upholding the sanctions, so it goes far beyond just monetary value. It is trying to support sanctions to penalise the Putin regime for what they're doing in Ukraine.
And so far, is that a big loss to the Isle of Man, financially?
It's a significant amount of work because what we're having to do is go through all the registries, look at any of the owners that may be subject to sanctions either in the United Kingdom or the European Union, and also look at any that might have provisional links to a Russian company that might come onto sanctions in the future. So it's an awful lot of work that's being done by officers, and I'm very grateful for that. But this is work right across government in terms of the financial sector as well, to make sure that we play our part in what's been a worldwide effort to try to isolate the Putin regime.
Any of these headline Russians, though, are they active in the Isle of Man, or are you not allowed to say because of whatever reasons, shelf companies?
We are looking at quite a few high-profile Russian individuals who have been mentioned in sanctions, to make sure that if they have any involvement with the Isle of Man, by whatever means, that is dealt with. Because,
I mean, the whole ironical thing about this is they wrap it all up in so much... Yep. Different companies and shell companies. How do you find out who is the beneficial owner?
And it's a lot of work. It's literally going through some of the applications and looking for Russian email addresses. Yeah. It can come down to things like that to try to make sure that we are at the forefront of sanctions.
So 8 ships already, wasn't it? And more to come.
We've got 8 aircraft that have been deregistered. Now, none of these are on the Isle of Man at the moment. I know some people are keen for us to seize aircraft. If they were here, they would be seized, but they're in other jurisdictions. By deregistering them internationally, that means they cannot fly. We've also closed our airspace to any Russian planes as well. And we're looking right across planes that are registered here, and also ships and yachts that are registered here.
We haven't got a lot of time. I do want to talk about the film industry a bit, because it came up in Kezia Day. What is going on? A film about the Isle of Man that won't be made here, and we were such the go-to place for films. I know in your Ireland digital thingy at the minute, there's hardly any reference to the film industry anymore, is there?
Yeah. I mean, filming has changed dramatically, and the finance of it has become far more complicated over the previous decades. What some countries, including the United Kingdom, have at the moment are what's called tax credits. So people who make films and pay corporation tax, they can get that up front to actually finance the production. The recent case was somebody who was interested in filming a mini-series on the Isle of Man for TV, who was asking whether we could match what was available in the United Kingdom. We can't, because we don't have corporation tax here. But what we have done is met with those individuals to show the range of other things we can offer, such as logistics, closing roads, and actually financial support if it's possible. But a lot of the financial support the Isle of Man government gives, using taxpayers' money, is to create jobs on the island, is to bring money into the island, rather than just speculative financing films.
We got our fingers burned, let's face it. In the past, from all accounts.
Yeah, I mean, in the past we had a very successful film industry. However, the tax rules changed. We possibly didn't change as quick as we should have done, and so there were some losses, some quite high-profile losses, that then came towards questions.
Has that boat sailed then? I mean, we're not looking for the Netflix and the Amazon studios to be coming back in great force.
You make a very good point in terms of Netflix and Amazon, who are hoovering up studio space in the United Kingdom. Yeah. But again, it's not just studio space. They want the locations, they want the skilled staff.
Have we not got any particularly not
we do have some very skilled staff on Ireland, but we don't necessarily have the right facilities to rival Pinewood Studios.
Yeah.
The question is whether we should be investing taxpayers' money in that. And I think...
And you've been there already. So.
We have. There was a film studio built on the Isle of Man that successfully managed to have productions there. I think that's moved on now, but what we can do on the Isle of Man is give a unique location for filming. And that's what the Isle of Man government and indeed the Department for Enterprise are very keen to foster. If we can get people over here to film, we will make it as easy as possible for them and give them any support that we're able to.
Sure. I mean, hasn't Barry Gibb been knocking your door? Not him directly, maybe, but there's talk about this bio about them now, because it's been so successful as a theme.
Yep.
They've got to film some of that here, haven't they? And they must have been in touch.
Absolutely. I haven't spoken to them personally, but there are various concepts about a BG's movie. If they want to approach us in terms of how they could film over here, how they could do the production over here, be more than happy to talk to them.